Okay, let's put this all together. These three circles, how do they overlap? Let me give you an example of my own life, okay? So you're gonna see on the screen how my circles overlap. And that is my passions, my proficiencies, and the people that I care about. So you'll see under my passions or my interests that I have interacting with people, leadership, creating meaningful, transformative experiences, and connecting the gospel to real life. Now, these are not exhaustive. I just selected the ones that were most relevant to make my point. Okay, I could have listed a whole lot more interests of mine, but I only included the ones that would serve you and help to clarify this exercise for you. Now, in the proficiencies circle or my skills, some of my skills are writing, journaling, conversing with people, speaking, listening, empathy, counseling, learning, and making people comfortable and connecting the gospel to real life. That is a similar or an overlap from the passions circle, right? Then at the bottom, what the people I care about want and need. So the people that I care about, at least in this season of my life, are you. Teens, middle schoolers, high schoolers, even college students, young people, okay? I care to serve you. And what do you want and need? Well, I think some things you might need are Christian mentorship, leadership training, help with connecting the gospel to real life, partnering with a mentor for encouragement and accountability, so that you can maximize spiritual development between the ages of 4 and 14. So where the three circles overlap for me are in the two jobs that I currently have at the time of this recording. I work for my church as the director of children's ministry. And so looking in the center of this zone of genius, you'll see that it says director of children's ministry for the church. Because that is how my work with children, my passion for connecting the gospel to real life, for leadership, for interacting with people, and my proficiencies of speaking and learning and making people feel comfortable and connecting the gospel to real life. This is where it all comes together. My job at church. I get to do all the things that I feel like I am competent in. All right, to meet a real need, because somebody does need to oversee the children's ministry at church. Now, under that, in the zone of genius, you'll find this role that I also play, which is I am the founder of the Youth Leadership Mastermind. And although this course is not the mastermind is a live group that meets on a regular basis to develop their self-leadership, their Christian self-leadership. This this course is actually a result of that mastermind group. I took the students in that mastermind through this course before I recorded it and put it on video for you. And so this course, the mastermind, which is dedicated to helping students strengthen their self-leadership skills before college, this is the result of me combining what I enjoy, what I can do proficiently, and how they can benefit the people that I want to help and serve, the people I care about. So you'll see that the zone of genius here on the right side says that it is the place where your passions and proficiencies, in other words, your interests and skills, meet the needs of people you want to help for God's glory. I happen to work in the Christian realm. I realized that of all the people that I want to serve Christian youth, because the mission of my organization, the Youth Mastermind, or my parent organization, which is called We Lead, my mission is to strengthen the church. I am not replacing the church by any means, but I am working with the next generation of youth who will be leaders of not only the church, but the world. And so I see that as my mission. And that is why when I had to define my organization's mission, I did deliberately decide I'm offering Christian leadership development, and I want to work with kids who are at least interested in Christianity. They may not identify themselves as a Christian yet, but that's okay, as long as they are curious about Christianity and interested enough to learn more about it and how it applies to their real life. I'm here for it. So I hope that's helpful to see how my 3 circles overlap. But going back to this sheet, I wanted to point out one more thing, and that is this little graphic in the corner. This is just John 15:5. And it's the very popular verse in the Bible that says, this is Jesus speaking, "I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who live in me while I live in them will produce a lot of fruit, but you can't produce anything without me." So remember at the start of this segment, I said not to idolize that zone of genius because it isn't going to give you life. What you are truly looking for is abundant life and fruit from your work, right? Fruit of your labor, some good results from the things that you're spending your time and energy on. And so if we'll read this highlighted portion together, this is my point. Finding and living in your zone of genius is important for focusing your time and energies, but this zone is not what will make you happy and fruitful. Your true identity in Christ is the zone where you can make your greatest unique contribution to your world. So what is your true zone? Not of genius, but of life. That zone is Jesus. And this zone of genius is helpful when you're looking for a line of work, when you're looking for parameters and boundaries of how to spend your time and energy every day. But by no means is this zone of genius your end all and be all. Okay, I need to remind you, it is my job to remind you that you need to go to Jesus to meet those deepest, truest needs that no job can ever fulfill. The last thing on this page is just a way to remind you that you will change and grow. You are in a specific season of your life right now, right? You have one job right now, and that is to be the best student that you can be and to grow as much as you can grow and learn as much as you can learn. But there are future roles that most of you will probably experience. It's just a matter of time. And this is just a way to get you to think about your changing roles, the changing seasons of your life. Some of you are already a son or daughter. You're already a student. You're not yet a spouse. Some of you will be a spouse to somebody one day. Some of you will get to be a parent. Some of you will get to be an employee. Some of you will get to be an employer. Some of you may be entrepreneurs. Some of you may get to volunteer as a servant for various kinds of churches, nonprofits, charities, organizations. And some of you will have the blessing of becoming a grandparent one day. And there are many other roles that you could play, right? And you can fill it in there. But my last point is that this zone of genius is meant to grow and change with you. Okay, so I have one last example for you before we finish off this section. And that is to illustrate to you that the zone of genius is not just a job. I know the two I have listed in my example are jobs, my church position and this position. But you know, when my kids were very young, I have 3 kids. One is 15, one is 14, and one is 12. I was very preoccupied just being a parent up until 3 years ago. I was a full-time parent and I had to, assume a new role now. I was a parent. I had to check off parent, and that changed my schedule. That changed my routine, right, in life. But it didn't change my mission. Okay, this is my point. Your mission is more than your job. So when I became a parent, I had to revisit this, concept of, okay, now what do? I can't be in an office work. I was working at an office at that time. I was the editor of a magazine, and I couldn't go into the office every day. I didn't want to go into the office every day because I had young children at home. And so I decided that I'm going to homeschool my kids, because that was another way to bring my interests, my skills, and the people that I want to serve, which at that time were my own children, which was fine. And I never felt guilty about that. That was how they were all going to intersect for that season of my life. So I homeschooled for 7 years. And that was my mission. Actually, I did pick up my church job halfway through those 7 years. But even if I hadn't picked up that church job and I was just a homeschooling mom, a stay-at-home mom, my mission for that season of my life was just to be the most excellent homeschooling parent that I could be. And I was. I mean, I did my best. We took like 15 field trips a year. I taught them how to read, right? How to write, and then I put them in school later for middle school. But I want to share that with you as an example of how a mission can look differently according to what season of life you're in. But I was still operating in that zone of genius. I was writing curriculum. I was teaching. I was speaking. I was in 2 different co-ops, or actually like 3 or 4 different co-ops. I put together, teaching schedules for me and the other moms, the other families. I organized play dates, organized field trips. Those are all skills that I use now and in the role I have at church. And so I just want you to understand what mission means. It's more than a job. It looks different depending on what season you're in. But if you can spend just a little more time trying to locate this place where who you are all intersects with the needs of the people you want to serve, that zone is going to serve you very well. Okay? And you're going to feel fulfilled and free, not because you're in that zone, but because you sense the glory of God when you're in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time. Okay. So I know it's a big concept for you to maybe wrap your mind around, but that's why I believe in what you're doing. This is why I put this course together. I wouldn't be introducing these concepts to you if I didn't think that they mattered, right? I mean, there's a zillion other things I could be doing with my time, but I really believe that what you are doing here in this video series is important and it's going to serve you. You just need to be patient and to keep thinking about this, even if you don't have as much definition in your zone as I have in mine. The reward is in this process that you're in, because as long as you're asking yourself these questions, as long as you're actively looking for that zone, you're gonna find it. You're gonna realize when you're doing something, you're gonna pause and say, wow, I think I really enjoy this and I'm actually kind of good at it. And I think I might be getting closer to my zone. That's the point, you guys. Okay, now that this concept has been introduced to you, I'm hoping that you go through your daily life and you're gonna get these light bulb moments when you're like, that felt really fulfilling. I really liked working with these kinds of people. I really enjoyed that group of people. I could do this for the rest of my life. Okay, you're looking for those kinds of aha moments, right? And you already started. You have a head start. And congratulations. So keep at it. We're going to hit core values next. And that's actually a really fun section. That's not as long as this one. This one was by far the most work that you had to do, the zone of genius. But now we're kind of on the other side of the hill, okay? And it's going to get more fun. You're going to get to talk about core values and defining moments. And then one last bonus question before you can put together your personal mission statement. Okay, I'll see you in the next session to talk about core values.